The next story is about oil. Who typed in that comment about the oil stocks? I told you to just be careful with it. Another story. Say. Oil production jumps as stockpiles also grow. So remember, the oil producing countries were supposed to be cutting down production to help build up demand. How about oil production jumps, though? Even though we have so much oil still, we still have an oversupply. Crude oil production jumped last week for the first time since March, while oil stockpiles also grew by more than expected, according to the Energy Information Administration, aka the EIA. The government estimated that production for the week ended June 19th was 11 million barrels a day, which was higher from the 10.5 million barrel daily production the prior week and the first hike since mid-March, just before the full effect of the coronavirus lockdowns hit the U.S. economy. Back then, production hit a record 13.1 million barrels a day. Crude stockpiles last week rose to 1.44 million barrels. We've got a lot of barrels of oil just sitting out there that we have not used yet. What's going to move oil? Demand. Also understand, why did oil move the way that it did more recently? It did because oil was at such low prices. So the people who bought into oil bought into it because they were like, holy smokes, we're getting a bargain. They now own those oil shares. Now, guess what? At some point in time, oil is going to come back. We're going to get demand and oil prices will rise. Absolutely. But I would rather you wait for the demand to drive prices higher instead of having to sit while the oil prices are falling and wonder what to do. Let the trade come to you. Let the trade come to you. Let oil come to you. Don't force the trade. There's too many other stocks that you can jump on board with right now. Oil may not be the play unless you're willing to sit and wait. And as long as you're willing to do that because you got a good price on oil, by all means, have at it. All right. I had somebody put in the comments that I missed out on pulling the trigger on oil listening to you. I have never once told any of you not to buy oil. I have justified what makes oil move. It is demand. The demand is not there, and we have an oversupply issue right now. So even though it may be moving, it moved because of the price was so low. Just be careful right now. And that's all I've been saying. I've been saying I personally wouldn't buy it yet. Let's get some demand. So let me go to my watch list. Let me go back to my watch list. What am I using for oil? I'm using the W&T Offshore. Currently, right now, trading at 238, the value of 22, way overvalued. Upside potential, RV is way below 1. Upside long-term potential is not there. The safety of this WTI, not there, 0.63 on a scale between 0 and 2. RT, oil is not in an uptrend. All right, let's go right-click on it. Let's go view the stock graph of oil, of WTO. What does that tell me? So when the futures contracts came out back in March to April and the contracts were at zero for the first time ever, what did people do? They bought the dickens out of oil. All right? Then oil, like, yeah, it's up, it's going to run. And I've been telling you all this time, even when it was doing all of this, just be careful. Demand is not there. So oil's running, you like, oh, Glenn, that Glenn guy, he don't know what the heck he's talking about. Okay. Demand is not there. We've got supply. Guess what? It caught up to itself. All of this move in oil was because oil prices were low. All of this move in oil was not because there was a demand for oil. All right, boom. We're clearly below the 20-day exponential moving average. The indicator that lets us know if it's in an uptrend or not, RT, below 1, earning. Yeah. So would I still buy oil yet? You know something? 1, I want demand. 2, let's wait and see if oil can get above that value of the 20-day exponential moving average. All right. Now I also have a watch list for it. Petroleum. Let's go to petroleum. Petroleum stocks right there. Petroleum stocks. Are there some petroleum stocks that are moving? Sure there are. All right. If you want to jump on board, let's go to percent price change. I got 64 stocks in here. Let's go to percent price change. Let's see what oil stocks are moving today. How about Helix is up today, about 6.25%, almost 6.5%. Oil State. So I've got a watch list. These watch lists are also included in the software. You can go to Petroleum Stocks. There's a whole bunch of different petroleum industries. I've taken all of those industries, put them into one watch list. I took out all of the stocks that were less than $1, and I took out all of the stocks that had a volume, average volume less than 100,000 shares to build this watch list, okay? So can I find, just like with coronavirus stocks, can I find some oil stocks that move up on a daily basis? Absolutely. But let's go look at the watch list average of all 64 stocks in here. I want to show you something. Let's go view the average watch list of all these stocks. I looked at WTI. This is the movement of 64 stocks that I have in that watch list. Does this tell you it's okay? Let's put this, does it tell you it's okay? All right, I'm not just whistling Dixie when I'm telling you just be careful. I'm just not doing it. All right, just be careful. How about the whole watch list as a whole? Below the 20-day exponential moving average. RT just recently went below 1, but how about from that high, that swing high on 6.8 on this watch list of stocks? Look at what it's doing. So again, I'm not making this stuff up. What I am trying to do is help you to make better decisions in what you hear in the news. That's it in a nutshell. The people who are in oil right now are a little bit more aggressive. If you're looking for a more steady move in oil, let oil come to you. Any questions, Joey?
No, just people wanting to.
Say again? Joey's saying no. He's shaking his head no.
Look at VST in this list.
I could look at VST. Even with that, that doesn't trade, that doesn't stop me from still telling you that it's probably still, be careful with oil. This is already sorted by VST. The highest stock by VST is HESM. That's got the best combination of relative value, relative safety, and relative timing. All right, so there you go.
And you showed your oil watch list?
The oil watch list, I looked at the watch list average at the bottom down here by right-clicking on it, and I could view the watch list average graph. That's what I looked at. All right. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.